Hi, good afternoon. My name is Mike Majanovic, and I'll be talking about personal digital transformation journey. So we learn about the different aspects and different tools, but what Steven said is quality four refers to integration of quality management principles and new technologies to optimize our entire supply chain. I came to Canada back in the 90s, and at that time, it was really kind of hard. It was hard to get a job, and it was a recession. So I was in a tough point, and I started to study quality and joined ASQ back in 90. So it's a 30, 35 years ago. And if you had the certified quality engineer at that time, your job was guaranteed. And then back in 2000, if you had the lean and Six Sigma, your job was guaranteed. And today, when people ask me what they should do related to their career, I strongly suggest that in addition to their business acumen, specific knowledge related to a certain domain, they should learn data science and digital transformation tools and skills. And now you can do that without any programming. Usually, academia teach you that you go with R, Python, and then they torture you through heavy math and statistics, and then you start to use different tools. And today, you can do all that without any programming. And that's what democratization is of data science. So we talk in our meetings about the different tools that you can use to do data mining with zero programming. And I would encourage you to join our group. I'll have some information about that at the end. So what I will talk about the quality for framework, what are your opportunities? Because we as a quality professional have a great opportunity really to lead this industry for and quality for transformation and how you can anticipate effect of upcoming changes in the quality. So what people usually ask me is kind of where I should start. And this whole Pathfinder or a Navigator program that I'm going to show you today will help you to navigate your quality four journey. This is an overview, and I plan to have a couple more, probably like a 3 hours workshops, which will be provided free of charge for people just to understand how to build your path towards the quality four and how to get there. And that process is not different than process that you should use to manage your career today. ASQ usually, because I'm in Lean Six Sigma field and I teach and coach that, is ASQ saying that on average, salary of black belts is at 10, 15,000 higher than salary of people who don't have certification. But since I'm in statistics and quality and problem solving, I look not only at the mean value, I look at the range. And the range of the salary of people who have a black belt certification goes from 50,000 to 230,000 US dollars. So now question becomes, what is a portfolio of skills, what Milt was talking, that you need to have successful career and not to worry if you will have a job and not to worry about the layoffs, because if you check in on internet, you'll see that there is a massive layoffs because you will not be replaced by AI and chat GPT and different solutions associated with the digital transformation. You'll be replaced by people who know how to integrate AI and other tools in a work to be more effective and more productive. And I will kind of in upcoming workshops that I'll run, kind of I'll explain how that should be done. There is really kind of when you look at that whole DNA change, You have to understand technology and how to integrate their technology in a work which you're currently doing. You need to understand your business transformation and change management models, including emotional intelligence, how to understand yourself and how to understand people on your team, and how to lead that transformation. Because any transformation in organization happens at three levels. First one is a personal level, then second one is a team level, and third level is an enterprise or organization level. This digital transformation and quality four is not different than what we have seen with Lean or Six Sigma or QS 9000 implementation. We're talking about center of excellence, which have a role within organization, but their role is not to do work. Role of quality department is not to do inspection and be police. The role of quality department successful is to coach people and how to implement quality. Same thing applies to lean. If you look at the lean kata, same things apply to Six Sigma. If you have a black belts which are isolated from business and who are not involved in a change process, that deployment will fail. And usually what we see that those deployments fail after 3 to 4 years. Another thing is kind of we have to link whatever we do to value creation. So that means how I, as a quality professional, create a value to organization, not what I do, but how much value I'm creating on daily basis. And that is a quite challenge and applies to application at quality three and quality four. And that's the reason why we see in a salary gap that for the black belts that they share from, and that information is from ASQ annual survey, that range that we have in the salary comes from other elements. So you have to think at your value proposition as a chain of different elements, starting with engagement of people and capability to introduce change and influence change, your technical capability and the business acumen and the content that you have. And the strength of that chain is equal to the strength of weakest link. So this is structure process how you build your career. It's kind of not simple process. When we look at the navigator model, you need to start to look at the control of your future. You need to understand the digital landscape and then create your personal roadmap. And then you have to create clarity and craft strategic plan and go forward with your implementation. So one thing when I teach Lean Six Sigma, I work with the digital transformation and any change management and transformation. I ask people, what's your personal purpose? And only 1 or 2% of people are able to tell me what's their purpose. I was working with the Ministry of Community Services here in Ontario and giving them yellow belt training and asking them, what's your purpose? And I have a white look. And I said, your purpose is to create value for people in Ontario. And what better purpose you want? Because purpose is what drives us. And you have to understand your internal values. And in a workshop, we start first with understanding values. What are the things which drive me? And what are connection with the digital transformation of my purpose that we can identify? And then we start to look what are the capabilities that I have. So first is the purpose and the values, and then I start to look what are my capabilities. One of the things, if you look, kind of 50% of all employees will need reskilling by 2025. If you don't reskill and you don't build your digital transformation skills, it will be challenging to stay competitive. And when we look at that starting point, we have assessment where you start to look at your analytical thinking and innovation skills, active learning, and your learning strategies, your complex problem solving, critical thinking and analysis, creativity, leadership, and social influence, how to use technology, technology design and programming, resilience and problem solving, reasoning, and ideation. And you don't need to be perfect in all those dimensions, but you're developing your value proposition. So when people ask you can about what value you can create, you start with your purpose, what you're all about. I strongly suggest that you read a book, Start with Why, Simon Shack, where you start with the why you're doing what you're doing, what's your purpose. And if you have a purpose, you will enjoy your work. And then you look at your kind of capabilities which are required and you see what's your value proposition. Again, there will be some area where you're very strong. There will be area that you're going to leave where they are, and there will be areas that you will have to work to develop. Key is to have a focus and understand how I'm going to approach this whole process. It's very important that you have some coaching, and that coaching can be peer coaching with a group of people who are going through the same transformation as you are, or have a personal one on one coach who will help you with the growth of your career and in digital transformation. And when you look at your capabilities, it's data analytics, communication ability, cybersecurity, digital tools, proficiency, creativity, and leadership. All those things are elements of what you have to have. Next things, what you need to understand is digital technology. And this can be built relatively quickly. You don't need to be expert. You need to understand how technology work and how it can be create connection. What Stephen was talking is to, for example, a Grammy model, or there is a Singapore Chamber of Commerce Siri model, or you can use many quality professionals are familiar with the QS 9000. Very few are familiar with the QS 8000, which is about the data quality. So that the QS 8000 is a quality management system which is related to data quality, which is totally identical to ISO 8000, which is related to material management and managing quality of tangible things, versus data quality ISO 8000. It looks at the whole kind of concept of how we achieve quality. But going back to technology, we all can are familiar, most of us, to industry, Internet of Things, integration of different elements, cybersecurity, augmented reality, 3D design, cloud computing, big data, simulation, autonomous robots, and so on. So if you look at technology, you need to understand different technologies. You don't need to become expert into technology, but you need to be familiar with the different technologies. Now, as a quality professionals, majority of you deal with the descriptive statistics and diagnostic analysis. That's really where classical statistics, how far classical statistics go, including partially predictive analysis. And when we look at that predictive analytics, that's a borderline between classical statistics that we as a quality professionals are familiar, or black belts which are using this on a daily basis, and then moving into prescriptive analytics and cognitive self-learning. All these things you have to have, and this is our advantage as a quality professional because we already have some basic statistical knowledge. And you can be kind of concerned, do I understand statistics? But if you know box plots, if you know histograms, if you know normal distribution, you're in a good path to understand your hypothesis testing and start to regression analysis, ANOVA, general linear model. That's all part of a certified quality engineer or Lean Six Sigma professionals. You have to redact that, clean a little bit, and you can move now into data mining, which you can learn with the visual management probably within 2 months without any problems and not intensive. This is different flip model, which is different than what you'll find in academia where they teach you programming. You can now do data mining, K-cluster analysis, neural network, or name it, with zero programming, and you just need to understand the problem, and there are elements which look at your data, and then you go through data cleaning, looking at the outliers, identification of distribution, clean your data, missing data, and then you use a simple tool. You learn kind of different tools like a principal components analysis, which allows you to reduce number of features that you have in a model and tells you what's connected with what. And then you use a neural network hierarchy or trees, whatever you want to use. And you can use 5 to 7 different models. And this is difference between classical statistics where for certain problem, you have one approach. With the data mining for certain problem, you can use 5 different models and look at the quality of those models. And now you have to learn how I measure quality of my model. And there is a, let's say, kind of handful, like a 5 to 10 different ways how you measure quality of the models. And you pick which model you want, and then you use your model to predict data, and you look at the quality of your prediction. This is very easy. 3 years ago, when we started our digital transformation journey with our group, I was personally scared kind of how I'm going to learn because there was so much learning that you have to do, probably 2 years intensive learning if you look any university programs with the programming and so on. But you can take part, which is opposite for adults learning, where you start to solve the problem. Another thing which is happening, there is now something what we call mesh data. And in the past, you had the data warehouse and data lakes within organization, and now you have data owner, similar like agile when you have product owner, kind of data owner, which is distributed and decentralized uh, approach to managing data and the problems. And benefits of that is that you understand the context of the problem. You have a similar simple tools that you can use. And those tools are part of Amazon AVS, part of Data Robots, Data Miner. You have in any software now that visual data mining. And now you can have data scientists, similar what we had with the Six Sigma Master Black Belts, or what we have in the quality, where quality manager and quality engineers should be coaches. You can build your model and with the local smaller size problem, which is easier to solve. And how that enables organization is to link to ROI. Many people have issue how to identify ROI of their project. And when we look at the cost of quality, we have to extend now to digital cost of quality. And I have kind of whole table with different types of cost of quality related to digital transformation. We have still kind of our prevention, appraisal, inspection, and external failure, but now applied to digital area. And why is that important? Because now you can start to talk with your organization because management understands dollar value. That's language that you should talk when you talk with the senior management. Usually, when I was coaching black belts, they start now, we have this defect rate, we have this issue, we have. I usually tell them go to senior managers and say, kind of, I see opportunity to improve process X, which will save us $100,000. And then stop and say, would you like to hear more? So you don't go in the technical details, you talk at the language that they understand related to financial performance. And this is where many organizations which don't move towards the digital transformation are going to mistrain and probably run out of business. But same thing happens at individual level. Team learn how to use digital tools to enable that interaction with customers, net promoter score, um, customer journey, measuring customer satisfaction with customer journey, looking at the quality of the products, looking at risk management, failure management, and everything else. You need to think how, once when you understand those digital tools, how to transfer that into value, as well, kind of how to move into creation of your competitive advantage. So once when you understand, you build your heat map of different activities that you have in your quality value stream, and you look to technology and data science. So those are two elements, technology application and data science. And when I say technology and data science, there is an overlap. There is a couple methods. One is a robotic process automatization, where any transactional work can be automated, which is linked to lean. Then you have process mining, which is similar like a value stream, but analysis, but you're doing analysis on your data and you have a different paths that your products can go through and different failures, which becomes source of potential projects. And this is where kind of your quality and Lean Six Sigma group is starting to link with the digital transformation. So robotic process automatization, you can learn relatively easy. Data mining, uh, process mining, you can learn relatively easy. And those two methods are linked to the lean. Data mining and data science is directly linked with the Lean Six Sigma and the quality. So when you have those skills in addition to your quality skills, your resume is going to be so attractive that you will be able to pick up any potential opportunity. So once when you build this your ROI heat map relating to opportunities that you have, just think how many people come to managers and say, kind of, we have these opportunities related to technology, to data science, and another ROI that I didn't put is related to data quality. Because if I look data science work, majority of work is related to cleaning and preparing your data for analysis. Once when you have a good data for your analysis, to perform data mining is a piece of cake. And you can say this is not possible, but it's not. It's not very hard. It's similar like if you have a clean data and perform something in Minitab analysis, it's a piece of cake. People usually want to learn Minitab, but what you have to learn how to identify what my problem is, what are the questions that I have, and how to transfer that into statistical question. So it's the same skill. Now you have to understand business problem, what are potential opportunities, and how to transfer that into data science model. Pretty much what kind of data you have. You have a structured, unstructured, and semi-structured data, but as well you can have text data, sentiment analysis, and so on. Sounds scary, but you can learn that. You can take my word within a 3 month, 2 months data mining, and the rest kind of within additional 4 months. So within 6 months, with the proper coaching, if you're starting from zero, you can be somebody who can pick up whichever job you want. And once when you have that heat map, you do your prioritization. You can do Pareto, you can do effort impact matrix or any other tools, Pareto chart to prioritize that. So once when we understand what our purpose is, what our opportunities, what is a heat map for value and our capability, we now need to move into implementation of our process. Now, I'm showing this as a linear process. This is not linear process. It's ongoing iterations, and you make it good enough to start to implement, and then whatever your lesson learned, you go backwards and you implement next iteration. So this is directly linked. You apply method similar to design thinking. You build a prototype, you test prototype, you refine prototype, and you build better and better model how to build your career and enjoy really your work. What is important is that you build your network, and this is not different than a quality tree. Kind of, you have to attend networking events, professional associations, social media platforms, project collaboration, idea exchange, and long-term relationship, which will help you with your personal network. Again, very few people manage their career, and digital transformation is management of your career. And you don't start to look for the job at the point when you lose a job. You start to look for a new job and you accept whatever offer is based on how much you can grow and ensure that you will be asset for that organization or any other organization. So you build your network. Again, this is just high level, and then you start to break down for each of those what are the things that you can do, and go from there. Now, another thing is that you can, in addition to your networking, it's very important that you have a coaching and mentoring. I was lucky to have through my career to have a coaches, which were great coaches. And because if you look at your understanding of yourself, there is an area using something what we call Johari window, that there are things that you don't know about yourself and other people can see that. And this is really very important because usually you can sabotage yourself, and that's a reason why you don't maybe build the great habits or why you're not successful. People usually think that it's technical knowledge. Technical knowledge can be learned very quickly with the proper training, but if you don't have your proper understanding what's my purpose and proper understanding of how you think and what are your behavior and what are your habits, because your habits are driving your behavior, and what your behavior is, this is what you become. And when I say behavior, it's not only physical behavior, but it's a thinking behavior, your thinking patterns and paradigms that you have. So it's very important that you look at your coaching and mentorship in addition to network. And third element is your self-education and personal learning. So once when you have those three elements and you dedicate habit of half hour learning every day, you dedicate and you plan your career on all these elements that you have, then once when you have that, you create habits. And habits are who we are. If we are diligent with our money, we're financially sound person. If we are having habits to come on time, people respect that we are kind of precise person. So habits are very important. Now, habits are linked with your purpose as well, your perception who you are. And sometimes, if you don't identify in your subconscious who you are with your habits, those habits are very hard to achieve. We talk about motivation, but it's not only motivation, it's understanding how we think about our values, how we think who we are, how we think what's possible, how we set up our goals. And usually we sabotage ourselves by judging ourselves, judging other people, which are roadblock for our success, or judging situation. Once when we connect with ourself and our values, sky is the limit. And then you start to build your habit with the help of coaching or your support group that you have. So your success is really kind of going to depend on your consistent learning and habits that you have. And you need to embrace growth mindset. You adopt the beliefs that abilities and intelligence can be developed through dedication and hard work. Growth mindset encourage resilience in the face of challenges and foster love for learning. Another thing is you have to start to love yourself in order to be able to love work that you do and be connected with your team members. You need to see failures as opportunities to learn and improve rather than as a setback. This mindset will help you to stay motivated and open new avenues and new possibilities. Then you need to monitor your progress, regular reviews. So you build a plan, what you're going to do on a weekly basis, and then you plan what your activities in all those elements from the networking, working with the different groups, working with your coach, or working with other people who are interested, as well your self-learning. You monitor your habits and how you're changing, and most importantly, you start to reflect at the end of the week how you're doing and what changes you have to make. So this is a journey. It's a lifelong journey that you have to do. And once when you monitor your progress, that's going to help you to sustain momentum. And the key on this slide is that you need to reinforce habits that support growth. And that's really important, and seek feedback and mentorship. You are going to have challenges. That's normal. You have to, we can use even failure mode effect analysis or any other tool, quality tool, to anticipate any resistance to change. And you can anticipate your personal resistance to your change. You think if something is good that you're going to accept, well, if that's the case, many people who are smoking will stop smoking immediately. There is change is not easy, and it's very important to anticipate how we can do that. You need to manage. You have to find motivation during setbacks, and this is why it's important to have that support group. it's not accident that people who are alcoholic, there is alcoholic groups where people support each other. And I have seen many groups, and our ASQ Data Science Interest Group is support group because we don't have a strict agenda. We don't have a different levels when we meet. There are people who don't have a zero knowledge about digital transformation, and we are all equal, and we just talk. And we don't know really where meeting will finish, but it's a tremendous learning for each of us. You need to seek support from peers and mentors and coaches, develop resilience, and stay focused on your long-term vision. So it's going back this stay focused to your values, who you are, and how you want to design your life. In a closing, is we have to at time to stop and look at the progress that you're making and look what you have gained through this journey. And looking at 3 years that we spend with the data science group, we learn and we grow a lot as individuals and as a team. We run at least kind of 15 to 20 webinars, and this conference is first one where we are starting to share our learning and our journey. It's important that you start immediately, build your roadmap, and doesn't have to be perfect. Another thing, as I mentioned, I'll have those webinars and workshops so you can participate in that and we can talk about that. And you have to stay consistent, have support, and finally, if you're interested, you can sign for free Navigator workshop. This is really in some way grant because this workshop will be probably 1,500, but I'll be offering that free of for people who are attending this event. So that brings me to the end of my presentation. You have my phone, you have my email, you have my LinkedIn, and you have connection to my school. Now, any questions? Just feel to unmute and ask any questions.
Hi, Mike. It's Naomi here. Thank you very, very much for this great presentation. Just wondering how we can sign up for the Navigator workshop. Is that the simplicity advantage we need to go through?
It's a really kind of we put this conference very quickly. I'll usually kind of work with ASQ. If becomes challenging, I'll offer that through simplicity. But as I say, kind of for people who are on this call, it's going to be granted kind of free of charge. And we'll start first with understanding what values are. And I'm not sure if it's going to be a couple of 3 hour sessions or 1 hour sessions over 2 months, but it will be through ASQ or Simplicity or Joint. So it depends. Stephen mentioned that as well. He is interested in future workshops related to meta-analysis, data wrangling, data cleaning in data analytics. So kind of look look for some information coming through. We'll post on my ASQ or we'll send some information. We'll know more. We'll send you follow-up email to all people who attended with upcoming events, and we can go from there.
Yeah, these would be little 30-minute intros, R code, Python, uh, fundamentals of taking each of those steps in the data management process. So I just posted the question because quite frequently people just need to have a starting point, and that's all they could be. Because you talk about uh, uh, data cleaning, estimating missing values. You could have a whole week, 40-hour course on that. But these would be a little 30-minute intro, give you some code to get started, and discussion of the theoretical foundations, the advantages and disadvantages of various methods, and then demonstration of code on a small data set, just to get you started. But we'll need to step back again within the within the DAIG group and look at structuring this, because there's some administrative work that goes into putting on webinars or conferences. So let us take a look at that, and then we'll send you, if you leave your contact information, we can get some contact information again and then broadcast those. But we'll have to work these into our presentation schedules.
Yeah. There was just a question about the data science and data governance. ISO 8000 as well, I think 27,000 are talking about cybersecurity, data governance, and data science. There is a big discussion about data governance and cybersecurity and using AI and different digital tools and data science with the mesh data, where data are less exposing specific value that organization have. You're in position to use a open source data which you can protect. So if you have a different feature, you can change names of the features, you can shift data and still can do data mining or using open source. So there are tricks that you can use. I'm personally different, working in Magna and looking at the entrepreneurial approach. Data governance has advantages and disadvantages. Advantages are that help organization to protect data. On other hand, is kind of when you have too much control, you use flexibility related to value creation. It's kind of pro and con. You have to find portfolio how you do digital transformation. And when you look at the digital transformation, personal transformation, that's why I'm talking about coaching. There is no one model fits all. And what will happen with consultants, they will tell you, they will give you canned model which works in one organization or which works with their technology. When I was looking at the Lean Six Sigma deployment, which I did in General Electric back in 97, was totally different than deployment that I did in Magna, was totally different that I did in Maple Leaf Foods. It's totally different that I did in a healthcare with Life Labs, and it's totally different that I did with the government, with the Ministry of Social Services and Ministry of Transportation. Because if your processes are not well defined, if you don't understand how your data are and what's the value, there is a maturity. You cannot just jump and use technology. You have to understand, build that mental model, which is related to linking business acumen, to understand that cost of quality model, how that data can create value. So role of data scientists, usually people similar with the Lean Six Sigma or with quality, they hire quality manager to solve quality problems. That doesn't work that way. They hire master black belt to create Six Sigma projects. It doesn't work that way. So it's same thing with the data sciences. I think that, fact is that majority of data science projects fail. And the problem is they're usually at the high level. They work well with the big data analytics and maybe with the marketing and stuff like that. But I did data mining projects with the black belts on specific products. So when you have certain process, similarly what Steven was talking about risk, you first thing is to understand like a fishbone and build the driver tree. What are the features or inputs which are driving my output? And usually you have multiple outputs. So problem is usually much more complex. So now kind of with the principal component analysis from 100 outputs, you can select what are the most important inputs which are associated with the different outputs. And by doing that, you start to build driver tree. And the solving problem is like peeling onion. It's not just kind of you have a data, you put in the Minitab, you get solution. That's not how it works. Especially with data mining is you don't have one specific tool which can work well with your data and with the problem that you have. And this is where data science, I don't have a better term, but I would say applied data science, because science and business, they don't go well in the same sentence. Science usually doesn't create value that you want to see from entrepreneurial business. So it's kind of entrepreneurial data science would be maybe, or applied data science would be more appropriate term. But I have seen projects where young engineers come with a perfect model, and model is perfect, but you cannot physically change that process. Those features really don't physically cannot drive your process, although model is good. Similarly, what we teach in statistic with regression, what's the correlation between ice cream and shark attacks? And you can see kind of high correlation between those two things. So is eating ice cream cause shark attacks? No, but you will see kind of high correlation between those two things. And the correlation doesn't mean causality. So that's really kind of what you need. You need to understand your business environment and have a business acumen and have a data science and come to your solution. And it's iterative process. I can talk for hours about that, but I'll have to stop. Any other questions?
Yes, Mike, thank you very much for your presentation. I just have a quick question, please. If we can do data analysis, hypothesis testing using AI, how do you see the value that software companies that are doing this already, like Minitab, Sigma Excel, what would they be facing? Like, I mean,
well, it's kind of Minitab is having a new module for data mining, and they charge extra for that, and it's quite expensive. Now you have whole bunch of open software solution like JASP, for example, which does pretty much everything what Minitab is doing for free. So usually kind of they're free tools coming from different, and it's a university somewhere in Holland, I think. It's going to do kind of a 98% of things what Minitab is doing with zero cost. Now, with ChatGPT, I provided training for Toronto section. With ChatGPT, you can put your data and it will create your histogram. It will do hypothesis testing. It will do everything that Minitab is doing. And we did a kind of analysis, and it's pretty close. Results are pretty close, because sometimes when you do hypothesis analysis, how you calculate your standard deviation, there are different ways, and you get a little bit slightly different results. But what will happen, as I say, kind of, I think that majority with robotic, it's not only AI, it's kind of robotic process automatization, when you can pick up each task and automate that from your work that you do responding to emails, bring different chatbots. Pretty soon you will not know if you're talking with a person or with a chatbot or robot. Then process mining, where you can understand the different paths, how your product is going through your operation and different failure modes, and you can now plug Lean Six Sigma to solve that with the data mining or without data mining. So you build totally new skill set. And this is really, you can learn all these things from YouTube The problem is it's going to take you 3 to 4 years because you don't know what to look and how to look and connect dots. That's really kind of why I'm saying kind of it's important to have a coach to help you to connect dots. Courses at university usually, if you look, I would suggest that you look for something which looks no code programming, and now you can build a robotic process automatization without no code. You can do data mining without no code. Again, Amazon AWS or Data EQ, they're all kind of data mining machines and learning. And you can even kind of, if I look Power BI and Tableau, they're starting to connect data mining to visualization and business intelligence. So if you look at different software solution, as a Tableau, they're looking at describing what performance is, creating nice dashboard in a real time to understand, to manage your process. And now kind of you build the data mining to be able to predict, prescribe as well, kind of what are the key features. Because with the data mining, you can start, especially if you use a neural network, which you can do without any programming. Features are in a different neural network layers. They're connected, almost like an interaction in classical statistics, but higher order. And you get really kind of good models, and then you validate and do testing of your model. One thing, those models, they don't run forever. So you need process controls on your data mining models. You need kind of checking from time to time, and you need update of your models. And it's almost like a statistical process control of your models, plus then changes based on assignable cost that you have with your model. So everything, we're in a great position. The only thing is you have to build that mental model, how those things, how that technology relates to what we already know. And it's once when you have that, you are in excellent position.
Thank you very much.
Feel free to connect to Milt, Steven, and myself, and send me via LinkedIn if you're interested. Send me your email if you're interested to add you to our meeting that we have with the data science interest group. Again, it's happening 10 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, 10 in the morning, every second Saturday. So in 2 weeks, next event will happen. If you want to attend that Navigator workshops as well, somebody's playing with annotation. If you want to attend those workshops, send me as well kind of a message on LinkedIn. Thank you and have a great day.